What's going on? Welcome to the podcast. This is Game Flicks and Chill. It's a new podcast that we're starting up here. We're just going to talk about pretty much video games, movies, music, anything that you can think of. We're going to talk about it. I'm Nick. That's Dante. Welcome to Game Flicks and Chill. All right. Today's topic is going to be Modern Warfare 3. You go first. Like, honest impressions. What do you think about it?
Honest impressions. All right. If I had to say, out of all the CODs on release, I can't say it's the worst.
That's
It,
fair.
it's not. It's not good by any means, but it's not the worst.
Um, we're gonna kind of structure this like how we're talking about. We're each gonna give like a general opinion, and then we're gonna talk about like campaign multiplayer and the zombies mode that they came out with. So my general idea is that it is the most expensive DLC that I have ever purchased, and yeah, I truly just believe that this whole game should have been content for year two of Modern Warfare 2. And there's no one that is going to change my mind about that. It's just the way it goes. Um,
Ain't that the truth? It
yeah,
really is.
it as far as campaign, dude, I haven't even played it. Everything I have seen is just people dogging on it for being um too short and it being pretty much like an epilogue for what Modern Warfare 3 was supposed to be. Like it was clearly going to be just like an add-on couple campaign missions and they structured it for a whole new game. I don't know. Have you played it?
What, the campaign?
Yeah.
No, the first thing I did whenever I downloaded the game was uninstall the campaign file.
I mean, I played the campaign a bit.
No, I made no attempt.
No, I mean, I didn't actually play it. COD HQ. Let's talk a little bit about COD HQ real quick.
Oh boy.
I gotta,
Oh,
I gotta say, dude, that the best way to summarize COD HQ right now is that first night that you and I tried to play the game.
oh, you talking about trying to get on multiplayer sent you to campaign
It's that,
17 times.
yeah, dude. I was like, because it, the menu system that they came out with in Modern Warfare 2, 2022, is so counterintuitive. There's like you click on a button and you trying to get into a menu, but that menu's in like three other menus. And Modern Warfare 3 is kind of similar. Like I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to give a central hub, right, where all Call of Duties are, and you can just launch whatever Call of Duty you want from that. And the reason for me that it doesn't work is because I already kind of have a central hub where all like this generation of Call of Duties are. It's called BattleNet. Here, nah, I won't show that because I don't want to leak personal information. But my the way it works on PC is you have to download a, a launcher called Battle.net. And from there, I can launch Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops 4, Vanguard, um, or Modern Warfare 2, and now the Call of Duty HQ. And having to launch a launcher from a launcher to get into any of like the newer generation of Call of Duty games, well, pretty much Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and whatever Treyarch cooks up for next year. It's just it's kind of stupid. So what Dante and I were kind of referring to is the first night we tried to play it, I launched it. You know, of course, update requires restart, and I get back into the game. We play a few games, and they had a playlist update. And after the playlist update, the game closed, opened back up, and I clicked on just like it said like Modern Warfare 3 in the launcher in Call of Duty HQ, and it put me into the campaign. And they dogged me for like 3 days. They were like, dude, just join the game. It's not that hard. And I was getting a little heated about it, not gonna lie. So he's like, dude, just click on social. I'm like, social doesn't fucking exist in the campaign. And if you don't know, to get out of the campaign, it has to close the game, reload Call of Duty HQ, and it just kept doing the same thing to me like 7 times in a row before I was finally like, fuck it. And then I launched Modern Warfare 2 to try to find like one of my blueprints or whatever for a gun, because the blueprints that I had saved didn't transfer to the new game. And yeah, it's just a mess. I don't know. You have any experiences with it?
Oh, yeah. Every single time. Every time with this little. I don't know. I don't mind it being on console because I didn't have a central hub for everything. But the way you transfer through every time I switch between, let's say, Modern Warfare 3 and 2, there's an update requires restart every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been around since 2019. Like you have a little playlist update. The whole game needs to just you load it up, and the game just needs to close itself and start up again. That's my little gripe about that. And as far as campaign goes, neither of us have played it, so I'm not going to speak to what I've heard about it too much more than I already have. So I think we should just move on to multiplayer. This is like the meat and potatoes. Um, you go first because I think we're gonna have very differing opinions on this.
To me,
Maybe
it's
not
like
though.
it's rancid meat and potatoes. It's what it is. I'd say it's no longer a game where you're playing by yourself. You have to have at least someone, a team, something with you,
Yeah.
because otherwise, it's just it's not it. Before, I'd get on COD, I could play it by myself. Even just the Modern Warfare 2 last year, I could do that. This one, nah, I'd rather not. I'll just do my own thing.
Uh,
I'll play a different game if nobody else is on.
yeah. I feel you. I think that for me, COD's been like that for a while, and I think one thing to add a little bit of context is that you've also been playing a lot more recently than years past. Um, especially with me, and I'll say you've gotten like way better. Like you are consistently, when you're not running around trolling with a riot shield and attack knife or a crossbow, you are consistently like at the top of the leaderboard with me. Donkey's dragging his balls across the floor.
Every time.
Yeah.
Not every time. That's all right. We
Sometimes
got
he
to give
pops off. Sometimes he pops off.
we'll give him. He's got that 1 out of 5.
Yeah, dude. It's the sniper for him. It's a gift and a curse. He
That's true.
likes just shitting on people with a sniper. But as for me, it's kind of goes back to my whole problem with this game being a DLC. This game, at least, well, not at least multiplayer, but multiplayer itself could have also just been a rework to add all of the things that we wanted in Modern Warfare 2 back in. I'm talking the slide canceling, like the less delays on aiming and jumping and attack sprint and all of it. And I'll give Modern Warfare 2 credit. When the game launched, it was just so slow. I think around somewhere in season 3, they sped all of those delays up. They shortened the delays between sprinting, and they shortened the delays between, if you were to jump and aim down sight, if you were to dolphin dive, and you could move better, but overall, mechanically, I like Modern Warfare 3 as far as gameplay goes better than Modern Warfare 2. But that doesn't change the fact that this is what Modern Warfare 2 should have been. And like I said, it could have just been a rework. And they added on a campaign and a zombies mode for, say, $40. And that's year 2 content. Not everybody needed to buy it. And I think that the fact that let's talk about some leaks. Did you see any of those leaks for Modern Warfare 2 that early on we were supposed to get year 2 content for this game, and it was originally going to be all the OG 2009 MW2 maps that are now the base maps for Modern Warfare 3. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's why I did see a few things.
There's actually see if I can bring it up. A I think there was some drama because people have found that the trophies in Modern Warfare 3 on the PlayStation were tracking on Modern Warfare 2. So it was like, yo, this is like proof that
Hmm.
this game was supposed to be DLC. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's my biggest thing is that the game feels like multiplayer at least feels like it could have been a workaround. What are your
I
thoughts? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like if given time and if they actually cared about the game, they could make something out of this.
Yeah, but Call of Duty's like that every year these days. It's like, okay, it's going to launch and it's going to be good for a few days, and then you're going to start noticing all of the glaring issues that the game has. But around season 3, season 4, we're going to, it's going to really go full swing. But by that point, I mean, you're halfway through the year. You're halfway through the game's actual life cycle. And that's the way it's been for a while. The last game that came out, in my opinion, swinging for the fences, multiplayer campaign. Well, it didn't have a campaign actually, but was Black Ops 4. And ironically, it was the last game that I played that had a a actual prestige system and gave me a feeling of progression and a feeling of wanting to play the game more so than any other Call of Duty. And just to be clear, I didn't hate Modern Warfare 2. I hated the mechanics at first. Like and I think we went from 3 years of high level movement Call of Duties and then just got cinder blocks tied to our feet. That was my biggest issue with the game. And I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. Like that was the detriment to that game. I still played it, but I don't know. It just felt like, and we'll get into another little side tangent here about Something a little bit more controversial. I play on keyboard and mouse. Dante plays on controller. We razz each other a little bit about the aim assist thing. For me, it really isn't that big of an issue in Modern Warfare 3, but I could feel it a little bit more in Modern Warfare 2 because I could move a lot better to kind of counter that stronger aim assist. And let's not dance around it. Aim assist has gotten stronger since the days of Black Ops 2, which was personally my favorite multiplayer experience in a Call of Duty to date.
That's facts.
And aim assist has gotten so much stronger since then, and rightfully so. I mean, I've tried playing on controller. Now, granted, that's not my primary input. Um, I that whole weekend
Clearly.
I just played on controller, and I could feel aim assist. Where in Black Ops 2, it wasn't for me when I played on controller primarily was that era of Call of Duty from Modern Warfare to 2009 to Black Ops 4. My first keyboard and mouse game, Call of Duty game that I played was 2019. And I there's even evidence of that when you look at um a bunch of pros did a tournament on Black Ops 2 between MW2 2022 and MW3 2023. They did like a Black Ops 2 like retro tournament with a bunch of pros, and they were just like they were playing Black Ops 2 the way they would play MW2 or Vanguard or whatever game, and it was like, and these guys were missing shots left and right. They were moving the movement stick instead of the aiming stick to try to get that extra aim assist, and it just didn't exist. It wasn't there. Um, but to get back to this game, to get back to Modern Warfare 3, I'm gonna ask you, what do you think about like the whole daily challenges to unlock pretty much everything?
I think it's a crock of shit.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I mean, the fact like in Modern Warfare 2, you had to basically level up this gun to get this attachment on this gun and level up this gun before you could get this gun, but you had to use this attachment on this gun to get no. You know what, whatever, fine, I got used to that. But now you have to do daily challenges. It'd be different if you could do more than 3 dailies a day.
Yeah. And after you finish your dailies, you have to win games. So I'll put an example out there right now of why I think it's problematic. The Holger 5.56 assault rifle in Modern Warfare 3. Do you know how many attachments that you need to complete dailies to do or win games once you finish all of your dailies? Do you know how many dailies you need to do to unlock the attachments for just the
No,
Holger?
no.
22. You need 22 daily challenges or wins once you've done your challenges just to unlock all of the base attachments. There's like four stocks. There's uh an extended bag, there's um rear grips, under barrels, which I won't include the under barrels, but actual barrels, uh, um and they all almost every single attachment for that weapon requires doing daily challenges to unlock it, which is bullshit. I don't understand why Call of Duty with progression, as far as progression goes, constantly needs to feel like they need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, we haven't had a classic prestige system in a Call of Duty game since Black Ops 4. What was wrong with it? And
Absolutely.
I I know what was wrong with it in their mind. It's harder to track your prestige progress whenever you have a unified leveling system between Warzone, multiplayer, and MP.
True.
That's where they got rid of it with Warzone. But and I always said that like it it wouldn't be hard for them to figure out a way that they could bring classic prestiging back. And I
See,
don't
my
think
problem is
go ahead.
currently, it's just the simple fact of I can't say I don't have fun with the games anymore. I'm blanketing that. But when I first started playing COD back at World at War, that was genuinely almost perfect. Yeah, every COD has had its issues. Wasn't until recently where these issues were actually starting to affect, games are supposed to be fun. Not, I don't feel like I gotta try my hardest just to do something in a
Oh,
goddamn match.
dude, like last night when we were playing, every match was like CDL pros because everyone's going for their daily challenges, and once you finish your daily challenges, for those who don't know, you have to complete. You have to get wins and the more wins you get, the more unlocks you get. So everyone is playing to try to unlock something. Everyone is playing not just to get kills, but to win the game. Wins actually matter, which is good, but it creates this hyper competitive gameplay loop, and it just isn't. I don't want to say it isn't fun. Like, I don't mind doing that, but whenever you have me, you, and Donkey, who are just three dudes who play on the weekends and maybe a couple nights a week, and when we play on weekends, we play probably longer than we should. There's a stack of laundry sitting over there in the corner right now that hasn't been folded because Call of
For
Duty
six,
came out last week. And I mean, you hear us talking and it's just call outs. And the comms were immaculate last night. I'll say
that is
that.
true. That was, yes.
But that the daily challenges thing and the wins thing is to unlock attachments and to unlock perks. I understand if you put something new in the game, yeah, maybe unlock it with a couple daily challenges. But for you to launch a game where I can't just play it, I actually have to grind it, and that's what these the whole game is just grind for this or grind for this. If you're not grinding for the camo, you're grinding to get perks. If you're not grinding for perks, you're grinding to get attachments. So you're just grinding, and it's all, in my opinion, a way to bump up play times. You know, the longer it takes for people to play the game to unlock shit, the more people are going to be online, and the longer people are going to be online, and those numbers look good for shareholders.
Facts.
Yeah. But mechanically, I like the multiplayer. As far as the progression goes, I can't fucking stand it. I just want to level up the gun, get all the attachments for it, use a different gun, level it up, get all the attachments for it. And
The days of that are over now,
I
though.
know, I know. And like I did the camo grind for Modern Warfare 2. Um and I enjoyed the camo grind for Modern Warfare 2. I don't think I'm going to do it for this game. It the last time I actually the last camo I went for that I actually felt was worth it was Black Ops 4's Mastery camo. And that thing was sick, dude. You got that Black Ops 4 Dark Matter, still one of my favorite camos in any Call of Duty game ever. Period. I mean, once you unlocked it, I don't know if you ever had it, but if you got
After
30 good.
I can't even remember the last game I actually went for the full mastery camo challenges. I don't think I have in 5, 6 years now.
I know that you and I, when we played Black Ops 3 a lot, we didn't go
Oh
for the
yeah,
mastery camo, but we went for like the golden operator camos or whatever like the mastery operator camos were, which for
yeah,
those of you who don't know is essentially you played as every single operator and you had to not level them up, but you had to complete challenges. And I think it was 9 challenges per operator. And each operator had 2 abilities. So you had to use one ability, complete these challenges. Then you had to use their other ability, complete these challenges, and get so many kills or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but I know I was close. But by that point, Black Ops 4 was coming out because we played Black Ops 3 for so damn long and we didn't start going for it. Do you remember the days of playing Safeguard on that game, me and you?
I do.
Dude,
Having to shoot that robot that little Pathfinder twin so many times.
dude, it was I loved that game mode. I really did. And it was fun to play. I mean, it was nothing for you to drop a couple hundred kills in that game mode and then people call you a cheater, which back then that was like if you were cheating and you were playing Black Ops 3 on Xbox or PlayStation 4, it was like, man, it just wasn't as common back then, which is another issue. Is and that all stems from Warzone. Like as soon as Warzone came out and they did crossplay and cheaters were freaking everywhere, it's like you don't know who's cheating and who's not anymore because so many people were fucking cheating at that point. You get called a cheater now and it's like, I'm not, but okay, thanks. Back then it was like, I'm not cheating, I swear, dude. How am I cheating? I'm playing on console. Now it's like, well, he's probably cheating.
My hot take on this right now is, this is gonna piss some people off. Verdansk and Warzone original is what really made a game, but also ruined the game.
Yeah, it's that double edged sword because it was such a fun experience, but it also opened up the door for so much bullshit in Call of Duty. It was
And then they started fixing things a little bit. They gave us Rebirth, and then now we have Ash Cheek Island.
yeah, Ass Cheek Island and I don't mind Fortune's Keep. We're getting into Modern Warfare 2, but I don't mind Fortune's Keep and we'll get it down that tangent which Warzone 2 launched in I didn't hate it, but it didn't feel like Warzone. It felt more like a PUBG with the way you had to manage inventory at launch. And I think the game should have launched closer to what Caldera had been doing, just made a new map. You know, they didn't have to rework all once again, Call of Duty. Let's reinvent the wheel. Let's rework every system that we have and make a whole new experience when the old experience was fine. We just wanted new stuff. Like get rid of all the fucking guns that were in Warzone 1. Just start fresh, give us a new map and give us all of the same shit. But no, we didn't have that. We just got something completely different. I don't know. I didn't like it at first. But I will say that Warzone 2 now is in a pretty good spot, but I just don't want to play it because of skill based matchmaking, pretty much.
That's true. Now Vondel's got a warm place in my heart right
Yeah, I
now.
like Vondel. Is that what I said before? I said I like
Yeah,
Vondel. Okay,
yeah. You
I
say you like
wasn't
Vondel.
sure.
We hate the other one, which will not be named.
You know what's funny? when Ass Cheek came out, I I actually liked it. I didn't really in I liked it just because there was rebirth in the game, or not rebirth, resurgence in the game. But after Vondel came out, it's like, man, Ass Cheek Island kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah, Sheik Island really grew on me, just like a tumor would.
Yep,
Yep, and we like those.
or a mole or a wart. No, I liked Ass Cheek at first, but man, once Vondel came out, the map just feels so bland, and there's like every single time you look at that, you come into that map on the plane, and it's just like, where do you want to land? Well, there's like three spots that I want to land all the time, and it just doesn't. It's the same three spots. You can get everywhere fast. There's a whole underground section where people just go down there and hide, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Vondel has it, but it isn't as bad as it was on Ass Cheek. I don't know. Back to Modern Warfare 3 though. Um
Yeah, I'm actively playing the zombies at the moment.
okay, we want to get into that can of worms. See, that's what I think we're going to end up actually talking about the most here because of so much controversy. And for those who don't know, the Modern Warfare 3 does have zombies, but it's not really zombies. It is more like an extraction shooter. So
I
my
can
hot
say right now, my teammates just took me into the red zone and we're fighting in it right now, and I don't like it. I feel unsafe.
I I think that the zombies mode is actually fun, but I don't
Mm.
think it's a zombies mode. And that is my biggest issue with it is it was marketed for the zombies community. And granted, the zombies community seems like for the most part they're enjoying it.
It's acceptance because we know we're not getting anything else for another few years.
Yeah, it's like that, you know, like an abusive relationship. Like, yeah, well, got nothing else to play, might as well play this. I think that my biggest issue with this game was marketing. It was marketed as a full fledged zombies experience, and it isn't. It's something completely different. It's alien. It's more akin to DMZ from Modern Warfare 2, where you infill to the Warzone map, you complete your challenges, you exfil. And it has some zombie stuff in it. It has Juggernog, it has Pack a Punch, and enemy zombies from your enemy AI is zombies, and we have mercs too, but uh, I'll get to them later. It has things from zombies in it, but it doesn't follow that classic zombies gameplay loop, which I think makes the game mode. And it just feels alien. It doesn't feel like the game mode that we've gotten before. And that doesn't mean round based, or even in Cold War we had Outbreak. It doesn't that's not what I mean by the gameplay loop. I mean, you start in weak. You start with a pistol, or even in Cold War, you started in with a shotgun or whatever gun you wanted to come in with. But
Me
it
was always the dual pistols.
you started weak, you went a few rounds, you got some points, you opened up the map. You know, at a certain point, it's like, okay, my gun isn't doing any damage. I gotta get a gun. So you either buy one off the wall, which increases the rarity, or by that point you try to save up enough money to either pack a punch, which I never did. I always do. I always prioritize perks first, and buy a gun off the wall or hit the mystery box, and then, say once you get a gun, you get a few more kills, you start buying perks, and then you save your money to pack a punch. And it's like, as the rounds get higher, as the zombies get stronger, you are scaling to combat their extra speed, their extra strength, and this game doesn't have that. Outbreak even had that, but the difference was you got to decide when you wanted to progress. You got to decide when the zombies got stronger. This game, it just doesn't exist. It doesn't have that gameplay loop that zombies fans have become addicted to, and that's just for people who play casually. This game mode, I will say it, everyone was talking about how this is a game mode for casual players. This game mode isn't even for zombies players. This game mode is for people who played Warzone. They're trying to get the Warzone players, they're trying to get the DMZ players to play zombies. And it is so different that I don't think you can call it zombies. I think if they would have marketed this game mode as DMZ2, or they're throwing MWZ out there right now, I feel like even that is a better classification for the game mode than zombies. It does not have that classic gameplay loop, which is characterized by previous zombies maps and Outbreak from Cold War. It's a game mode that you're calling it zombies, but you can't even compare it to other zombies maps. It's its own thing. I like it. I personally do. I don't like the marketing around it.
After playing it, I don't mind it. The only thing is, and I've said it before, why is there a time limit?
Yes, the timer's what does it for you, because and that goes with that scaling, right? And I think maybe it's because you and I haven't got far enough in it. We haven't done enough exfils. We haven't done any of the story acts that are in it, because there's 3 acts for those of you who don't know. Um there's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, and I think each one of them has a set of missions that you have to complete. I think it's 15 in total, and then you get a boss fight, and by the time you get to that boss fight, you've done enough exfils and everything to come in with better loot. It doesn't have that progression loop. It doesn't have that scaling. And it seems like if you're just going in with nothing, by the time you get up enough perks, or you pack a punch enough times, or you upgrade the rarity of your weapon, you got to exfil. By the time you get to the point where it's like, man, I can probably shred in tier 3 right now. Okay, great. You have 5 minutes left. Better find an exfil. It's just like right at the time that that you're at your strongest, the game's over. And you don't get to enjoy being that strong. That's its biggest issue right now for me. That and the mercenaries. I just don't think that enemy AI mercenaries with guns should be in we'll call it a zombies mode. I think that if they would have marketed this game as or this game mode as just not zombies, and
Beast
called it
Plus.
called it like Incursion or something. We have this new game mode coming out called Incursion. You're gonna see some zombie stuff in it, but it's not. And they were open about that. They said, yeah, this isn't gonna be what you would normally expect from a zombies game. And but the community, man, they were still pissed, myself included. But I've said on right here on the podcast why I'm I was upset. That's not to say I don't like it. It's fun. It's engaging. But
Fine.
it's in a different way. It's something that I go for. Um, it's something that that I would play for a different experience than playing zombies.
I think we're just being grubby old like vets of gaming. And we're so used to the same thing for years on years on years that we just won't open up to like new experiences.
Kind of like gatekeeping it almost.
Yeah. Whereas like our generation, we had all this cool stuff. Maybe this is the stuff for the new gen. This is the stuff they want.
That,
I mean,
that's that's a valid point, but I'll say that you can't just dismiss a group of people that have been playing your games for me 13 14 years now, and that's wild to say. You
it
can't
really
just say,
is.
"Hey, screw you guys. These are the people that we're going to cater to now." The younger kids who got on Fortnite and you know created this whole free to not created but supported this whole free to play model. This game Zombies itself isn't free to play. I think you correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. I don't think I am, but you need to buy the game to play Zombies.
Yep.
Okay. But developing something and that goes back to the main issue. This game mode was not developed for the Zombies fans. It was developed to for I would say it was closer developed for people who were playing DMZ. And yeah, you will have some crossover there. Like you see a bunch of Zombies YouTubers. They played some DMZ. Mr. Raffle Waffles being like the one that stands out. He grinded out some DMZ, but he didn't grind any further. And he's one who also kind of voiced some of the concerns that I was saying about the marketing of this game being towards zombies players. And he's enjoying the game right now, but he still says that the target um demographic for this game was not zombies players. It was more DMZ players or people who played Warzone. They want to get those players in, because if they can get the free to play players in and let the free to play players play this game mode, they can monetize those players more, which was one of my concerns from the beginning. Is how the hell they're gonna monetize this. It's not just gonna be skins. There's gonna be some packs down the line, season 2, season 3, where you buy this operator skin. Boom, hey, we'll give you you know, 4 cans of Juggernog to start the game off with. Okay, but that's inherent in the game design now with the way acquisitions are. You can acquire Juggernog cans and then exfil with them, and then you start the game with Juggernog. I don't know. I like it. I will. It's not zombies though. It's not.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
It's not what I've devoted 13 years of my life to, but it is fun. And I think the zombies community, whether you're a we'll say for veteran players, for your hardcore fans, this is not the mode you wanted. If you play solo, you're gonna have a hard time playing it because it is just it's brutal to play this game mode solo. If you are an Easter egg hunter, I hope you like doing challenges and then exfilling a lot to get this game done. To get to your boss fight. And you can't do it again, to the best of my knowledge. I don't think you can go back in and do the boss fight again. It's like a one and done deal. Um for people who do high rounds. Same for you. It's like, so who's it for? Well, someone else. It's not for you. There's no high round play. There's no high round play in it. There's no speed run. Say you want to like you want to play Shadows of Evil and you want to speed run Shadows of Evil. That's the way you like to play zombies? Yeah, no, you can't do that. You have an hour time limit. There's your speed run. Get all your shit within an hour. Boom, you're done. You want to speed run doing like the free perk Easter eggs that they've found. Like there's your speed run. It just so much, and I also want to touch that like the identity of it, the atmosphere, the feeling of it, because it's just on the Warzone map. It isn't. It doesn't feel even like Cold War. Cold War, at least all the maps, it kind of felt like it. I mean, it still had its issues for me personally, but Cold War still felt like that gameplay loop. So, in the gameplay was good, but even atmosphere. I was gonna say atmospherically, but I don't know if that's a word. But the atmosphere of even the zombies maps in Cold War were nothing compared to Black Ops 1 through 4. Maybe the only one that I think felt like it had some cool atmosphere was Mauer der Toten.
All right, I'll give it that one. Yeah.
And that's not a dog on Cold War. I enjoyed Cold War, had a lot of fun, but you load into a map like Mauer der Toten, which is what East Berlin, and then you load up Shadows of Evil, which is a 1920s Lovecraftian Chicago inspired map with just weird stuff going on, and you had the music like that the fucking saxophone and the horns were playing on round
Felt like
change.
BioShock. It
You
was
had
BioShock zombies. That's what
yeah,
it was.
you had a big fucking tentacle fucker that spawned and scared the shit out of you. I remember that. Blood of the Dead, not Blood of the Dead. We'll say Blood of the Dead, but Mob of the Dead primarily, which is enough.
Oh, there it
Ironically,
is.
another one that's on the wall right here. You're
That's
in fucking Alcatraz prison playing as 4 gangsters, and then you get to even Black Ops 4. Um, it was just like okay, you had Blood of the Dead, and you had every other map for at least Ether was just okay, you want to play Classified? It's a facility. Oh, you want to play Nuketown or Alpha Omega? Facility. Oh, Tagged or Totem. Yeah, you've been here before. It was it was on Call of the Dead
Call of the
where
Dead, where
you're playing as 4 actors in a zombies horror movie. George Romero was the director for that horror movie, and he's following you around the map, and you have that like wind chime atmosphere ambience, and you have this fog, and you're in the middle of Siberia and everything is iced over. And then you have Tagged or Toten where it's just like, okay, yeah, here's all that stuff without all the character. And there's a facility up the hill. Black Ops Cold War. You played Knocked. It's like, oh, dude, this is Knocked. Remember Knocked? And it's like, yeah, guess what? There was a facility underneath of it. Firebase Z. Welcome to Vietnam. Dude, I was expecting us to be going through like rat holes or foxholes and tunnels and stuff like that.
like that mission where you have to go and what was that? Rescue like woods and all of that.
Yeah, you were where we were underground with Bowman
Yeah, yeah.
and in Black Ops 1. Guess what Firebase Z was? A facility. And then you had Mauer Toten, which, like I said, probably the the best atmosphere of that game because it felt like you were in like a 1980s East Berlin city. And even that map Granted, it was a small portion of it. Even that map, it was underground.
I wonder. Let's hear
It
it.
was a facility. But at least the rest of, like, it was only a very small portion, but there was still a facility there. You look at okay, we'll finish out Cold War. Forsaken was quite literally just a facility. You just went and it was a facility. Now, granted, it did have that 1980s theme to it, but it was just one big facility with a terrible fucking layout.
It was.
I just, and even now, like with Modern Warfare zombies, there it doesn't even feel like a facility anymore. It just feels like you're fighting zombies in Verdansk 2.
That sounds about right.
I don't know, man. Like I
It sounds
said,
they were trying to take everything from like the past for zombie specific. They were trying to combine everything that they think is working now and thought was working then to combine it into this mode. But I will still gripe about this time limit.
yeah. Like I said, if we're looking at MWZ as its own game mode, its own thing, you're not comparing it to any of this. You're not comparing it to any zombies experience, maybe other than Outbreak. It's a good game. It's fun to I've played it um 3 or 4 times now. Now, granted, that might not be the best sample size, but I did have fun. I enjoyed it. But it isn't when you market it as this, what I have on my wall here, and then it's just DMZ2, but you're not fighting other people, you're fighting zombies. Here's what I think would have made this game, like, it would have not gotten any fucking hate. Called it something new. Don't set it in any of like the cold, dark ether line story. I get it, that's your lore, whatever. Dude, bring back all the Infinite Warfare shit. Bring back the Infinite Warfare perks. Bring back some of the Infinite Warfare, uh, you know, enemies. Maybe create some new ones along the way, and let it be its own thing. Because that's what it should be. It should be its own fucking thing, and that's this. No one really cared about the Infinite Warfare story. It was a good story. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. I liked the theming of how they're going through movies. But if you brought back all those old Infinite Warfare perks, and let's say give this whole mode that entity rather than trying to create this convoluted outbreak zone, incursion zone, whatever, dude, you would have not pissed off nearly as many people. Hot take.
No, hot take. I can agree with that. Also round based, but
Yeah, round based for sure. Like
yeah.
that's what we want, and we'll get it next year. Next year's our year. I personally, I'm glad you brought this up because it made me remember something else. Um, I personally think that next year we're gonna have a fucking banger of a year for zombies content. Assuming that creating this game mode didn't pull too much development time away from it. I think we're finally gonna get back to having multiple zombies maps at launch, and if we don't,
I personally think these people just need to stop making zombies on this. Leave it to Black Ops.
yep,
Just stop.
yep, that
You
goes
can
back to what I just said.
if you want to focus on Warzone and the multiplayer side and all that, do that. Because as much as I will gripe about it, I do still enjoy playing the multiplayer. But it's just every Black Ops consistently has at least two, two, maybe not Black Ops 4, but at least two good, consistent maps.
Yeah. I I think that as a hardcore zombies fan, as a hardcore veteran of this game mode, and I think I can speak for a lot of other people that are in the in a similar boat as to what I'm in. I think a lot of us would rather not have content. Wait for if we're on a 3-year cycle, wait for 3 years and then get a really good full-fledged experience. I'll give Cold War benefit of the doubt. That game was made in a fucking pandemic. Everything was shut down. People were literally recording voice lines over the phone. That's fine. I totally understand. Towards the end there, it was just like, yeah, get the game done. We'll start working on the next one. And I think that now that one they've had, so we had Cold War. They were done with Cold War. Then we had what? Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. They've had a little over, by this time next year, they'll have 4 years to develop. I think we're gonna get a good year. I think the hardcore, the veterans are going to be eating good next year. So, and if not, hey, we can look back at this podcast and be like, man, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you think they were gonna give them money to make this game mode? No. Bobby Kodak's got to get his check.
Yeah, I just got pulled out of that zombies match. There is a playlist update available. It will now be downloaded.
Probably gonna have to restart.
I guarantee it. Up there it is. It's like clockwork with the update requires restart. It's gonna happen.
That's the way it goes, man. Well, that's all my thoughts on MW3. If I was gonna rate it, I'd say a good way to rate it would be rating its individual experiences. So, campaign, I haven't really played it. I'm sure I will at some point, but I don't know, 4.5 on the campaign out of 10. Multiplayer, it would be like a 8 out of 10 for me if it didn't have all of the daily challenges to unlock stuff. I'd say it'd probably be a 7.5. If it had a classic prestige system, if it had no daily challenges to unlock all the attachments, perks, field upgrades, whatever, and it's being carried right now by the gameplay mechanics, like the shooting, the running, the jumping, hell, even the maps. That's what's carrying the multiplayer. And the zombies, I'll give it a solid 8.
Mm.
It's not zombies, but it is fun.
I give it for what it is. You know what? 8 feels about right for what it is.
Yeah.
Multiplayer definitely gets closer to a 4 for me, just for the simple fact of it gets its nostalgia points.
I mean, it's
I
going to.
don't mind. I don't mind the weapons. I don't mind the movement. There's something about it that's just like I don't know. It's kind of here. Feels more like the placeholder game than anything else.
Yeah. It is. It is. You hit the nail on the head. It's a placeholder game. We'll dive back into it real quick. Yeah, we got about an hour recorded, but I'll say this. Um, if I can remember what I was gonna say, it is a placeholder game. Do you remember the Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Do you remember the leaks about how we weren't supposed to have a mainline title this year?
Yeah.
Like they were saying, yeah, we're gonna get year
Oh,
two
every
content.
2 years
Yep.
we'll have something. Yeah, okay.
And then Activision got greedy and were like, hey, we're not gonna have an influx of another $1 billion this year in that quarter. Like, better scrape together this game. And they
Let's
did.
throw this DLC in there for $70 and say it's this.
And that's why Modern Warfare 3 is the most expensive DLC I have ever purchased.